Hey, it's Kari from Reseller Revenue. I'm back from Ohio. Had a great sourcing trip. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about vacation time and time away on eBay because we all know that, some people want to extend their handling time. Sometimes we want to put it on time away. What are the pros and cons of that? And we'll look exactly what it did to my store. We'll look at my best sales while I was gone. Just kind of go over those types of things. I do have some notes I'm going to be glancing at because I can't remember anything anymore. So let's just get started. We'll talk about the sourcing trip. So Rowdy and I, we weren't sure if we were even going to be able to go because a couple of our sheep were still hanging on to have babies, but pretty much got finished up the day before we left. So that was fantastic. Got going on the road pretty early in the morning. I think it was the 10th is when we left. And it was just cold the whole time we were in Ohio. But we had such a great time. Rowdy and I are great travel companions. He's fun, except he's really bad at the co-pilot thing because he pretty much just like slept the whole way there. I mean, like I think whatever I was listening to on my playlist, I got like all the way through Phil Collins' whole entire marriage, like start to end, all the songs from the before Rowdy woke up. So, but besides that, fantastic travel companion. We have so much fun together. But the very first day after we got there would have been a Friday, and we were hoping to maybe go to Rogers Flea Market because I've heard great things about it. But it was so cold, and we also had a private pick that a guy had said he had 7 storage units, and so I was kind of interested in that. I knew he had some jewelry, so I thought we'll go with the sure deal. If the jewelry's bad, it's bad, but at least we know there's some. So we went there and ended up being a great relationship. Met a fantastic guy that does get a lot of jewelry in, and bought, I would say, my great buy and a bad in the fact that the second storage unit I went to, I just made an offer on all of it on the back wall, and it ended up not being a good deal. The guy was fine. He didn't misrepresent it or anything. It was right in front of my face. I could have looked better. I chose a few boxes. I looked in it. I thought, wow, this stuff's old. It's really good. It wasn't for me. But like I said, he didn't misrepresent it or anything. It's totally up to me, and it was just that was the worst, I guess, buy of my trip, but that was on me, nobody else. So we went to that place. We met up with Russell from the group, which was fantastic, which I've met Russell in person before, but whenever we're in the area, we like to meet up with him. Great guy. And that was fun. And we went to a really old antique store that, like the whole place was actually packed full of old stuff, which sometimes is hard to find anymore. And bought a few little things there. The next day was Springfield's big flea market. And again, it was super cold. And we braved the frost and the cold and went there. And the very first day, I'd filled up part of the back of my car with flats of jewelry from the storage unit person. And so then on Saturday, I was already like gonna run out of room. It was day 2. That's very typical for me. And I didn't really find a lot of jewelry at the flea market to flip. I found a few little things, but nothing big. Rowdy found some cool, unique items. There weren't a lot of vendors there. I hear a lot about the extravaganzas in May and August. It's just too peoply for me. So I have no, or maybe it's May and I don't know, whatever one is. I just don't want to be around that many people. So I'll miss out. But anyway, then the guy from the storage units, his name's Boyd, and he's like, I think he's gonna be like a lifelong friend now. Great guy. Called and asked if he wanted us to bring in like a truck bed full of jewelry the next day. So that's what we did on Sunday. We met up with him again. Really good stuff. I cherry picked all the flats. Um, had a great time. It was well worth not being able to feel my fingers and my toes when I was done because we were outside, and shoved all that in my car. And then the following day, it was following day, he asked if we'd like to come over to his house. And so then we spent a third day with him, and he brought up a bunch of awesome jewelry from his basement. And in the meantime, Rowdy also had gone to another antique store in the town that we were staying in and found a case of really nice old watches. And for those of you that don't know, my 17-year-old, he does watches and he likes to fix them, tinker them. And he's trying to like level up his game a little bit. He's thinking about doing some whatnot shows with these vintage watches, and he found some really good ones. And so he invested in those. And then Boyd brought him some watches to look at that were really good watches. And he bought those too. So Rowdy made a huge investment as far as a 17-year-old investing in something in these fantastic watches. Boyd's, a lot of them were automatics, and I would say just the education that Rowdy got from meeting him and talking to him. This guy was just, he's so full of information and he's willing to share it, and I felt like he was shooting us straight the whole time. And like I said, even if he never has another piece of jewelry, I bet I stay in contact just because I really like the guy. And I liked how he spent time with Rowdy and talking to him about stuff. And so that was really good. And I mean, my car was so full that on the way home, when we bought my husband a pizza on the way home, I didn't know if it was going to fit in the car. And I have a Honda Touring, so it's big. It's a 7-passenger, and it was full. So, and then on the way home, Rowdy and I, of course, had to stop at two antique stores, and the very last one was really good, and we got a bunch of really great stuff. And that was CNS. I think it's I put the card here so I wouldn't forget. CNS Antique Mall, and that was in Geneso, Illinois. Really liked it. Had a great time. The owner of that establishment could not have been nicer. Great customer service. Absolutely stop in. They have all sorts of stuff in there. Prices are really reasonable. Highly recommend it. So, I guess one of my big learning experiences was Boyd's pretty knowledgeable in the sterling market, and I learned a lot listening to him, watching how he prices things, and so I came away with more knowledge, which is very valuable. And we came home then on that following Tuesday, and I think I processed 1,219 pieces of, and when I say pieces, I mean listable items. So if it's a set, that's one piece. If it's something that had to have 4 pairs of earrings with it, that's one piece. So I had, and out of that 1,219 items, that does not include a bunch of earrings I still need to match up. So those will just be extras, I guess. And 222 items were sterling or gold. So it made my cost of goods across the board a little bit more than I like it to be, but it had the sterling and gold in it. So I think across the board, I ended up at 875 or 870 something per piece. So I dropped a bunch of money, but I'm excited to get back, and I don't have any regrets except for that one lot that I shouldn't have bought, but it's fine. I shall recover. Not a big deal. Just another learning thing, I screw up too. So I'm going to share with you some things that sold. I did put my store on away mode. I do not like, I don't do the extended handling time because I find that I have trouble getting it to update, all the policies and all my items. And I always have some things that lag behind, and it's easier for me to put it on time away. Don't have any issues. So these were a couple sales that happened while I was gone. This is a Judith Ripka watch. I don't really mess with watches, even though Rowdy works on watches. I just put no battery, and actually I think it was brand new. I don't even know that it had ever been worn. So that was a nice sale. This was a nice blue Germany cameo. I listed this April 3rd, so it sold relatively quickly. I pick these up all the time. This was in such beautiful condition. I was questioning how old it was even, but it was old, and it was in really nice shape. And I listed it on April 7th. So again, pretty quick sale. I love reptile, bug, insect jewelry. So fun. People like it. I picked this up in a big lot on eBay, and it sold, let's see, I listed it March 26th. So it did take a little bit for it to sell, but not too much. Pretty happy with it. These are sterling silver turquoise earrings. These were pretty nice. Sold really quick. Well, not really quick, I guess. I listed on March 23rd, but I'm happy with it. I love a good sash pin. I'm not sure if this made it in last time because it did. I listed it April 8th, and it sold while I was gone. So April 10th. So super fast. It sold in 2 days. May have undersold it a little bit, and it was a beautiful piece, but I'm happy with it. If I remember correctly, I think I paid $5 or $6 for this, so I'm happy with it. This is a Moni's, they have the wooden discs. If you've never seen this brand, look it up. Sometimes people don't realize that they sell really well and they're valuable. This would have sold for more. There's the mark. Would have sold for more, except it had a lot of damage, and I showed it. See, there's a split disc. Otherwise, it probably would have brought more. This was my favorite pickup, I think, while I was in Ohio. This was also from Boyd, who had the storage units. I did pay up for this, but I do believe I should be able to get this amount for it. So, and it's on sale today only. So that's the 23rd today. But it is, they call these Zoney Tunes. And it is signed. There it is. It's got the artist signature too here somewhere. There it is. Veronica. And I just thought it was really neat. And hopefully it sells really well. I do have a pendant that I'm going to put up later on after this sells, because I don't want to tap out on my Disney buyers all at once, right? And let's see a few of the other things that I picked up. This is not, a high-end piece. It was cool though. I mean, it's neat. I think somebody will enjoy it. Thought it was fun. This is a Weiss brooch, and it is signed on the back. It's got almost like a sugared look to it, but it was in really nice shape. This was a Christian Dior necklace that came in a set, but I split the set because, I do things like that. This, I believe, is Sabina glass. That's how I say it. It's got the strip of different color down the middle. It's really heavy. It is not signed. However, I think it was just really beautiful, and hopefully somebody will buy it and enjoy it. There's the other part of the Christian Dior set that I split apart. I put the bracelet and the earrings together. We saw that already. This one is a sterling silver compact, and it has the blue gouache on top. It's in pretty nice shape. I really liked it. So hopefully somebody else will like it too. I bought a bunch of belt buckles while I was out there. This is one I listed the other day. I did not cherry pick things to list, so this doesn't mean this is the best of the stuff I got. It just happens to be something I listed. So I'm just kind of glancing through what I've listed already from that trip just to show you. This was a beautiful carved mother of pearl, like eagle. It was very well made. I get a lot of different things like that, but this one was really nice. So got that while we were there. This came from Springfield, the flea market. So it's an Evans lighter and compact, and it had never been used. It was still in the original box. So I thought that was kind of nice. I did get this while I was there. It's reasonable in the price. So we'll see how that one goes. This was probably one of my favorite pickups, maybe not because of value, but because it's so neat. I like the insect thing. So these are all like spun silver, and there's spiders on top, and it's so well done. I don't know. It was just cool. Hopefully somebody else will think it's really cool too, but I thought that one was neat. And so I picked that up at a coin shop. I think it was Showcase Coins and Bullion, I think is what it was called. And they were some of the nicest guys, really well dressed. It was like a fancy establishment, but they treated us, just as good as they would anybody. So I was really pleased with that. They were just nice guys. Pink milk glass set. I really love statement pieces like this. It does have some of that cruddy stuff on there, but I was not going to try to get it off because I didn't want to break it. But it was pretty neat set. And as you can see, I have a lot of offers out on these. That's why I have that blue thing across the top. So here's the truth, guys. Let's see. I put my store on vacation mode on April 6th, which was 4 days before I left. And I did that so that if anybody had accepted any offers before that, they have 4 days to accept, and then they have 4 days to pay. So worst comes to worst, Jed could have mailed it out for me. However, I just didn't want to, take any chances or cause him any extra stress if I didn't have to. So it went on vacation mode that Sunday, and I took it back off on the way home. So that was 10 days. My store was on time away, but I did do time away and allowed sales. and I did send offers while I was away, and I did list 5 items a day while I was gone. So I did keep activity up. If you remember in my last video, I said my sales always go down about 50% when I'm on vacation mode. And sure enough, this is all that I had in 10 days. It's down 45.7%, and the net was down 47.2%. But because I know this is what happens. I know what to expect. I planned ahead. Everything's fine. But it was right about on target is what I expected. So not a big deal. We're going to pop back up as soon as I went off vacation mode. You know, my sales started coming back in, and then I got a big return. And I do believe that slows up things just a little bit. It was an arrived damaged return. So I don't know whether it does or doesn't. I'm running a 30% off sale today on the whole store. I realize that seems crazy to some of you. It does not to me. I need to get things going. I need to get things moving again. And momentum begets momentum. So I'm ready for it to start up again. And starting this next Monday, our group is going to be doing on each Monday for 13 weeks. We're on the Wake Up and Resell and the Reseller Revenue Patreon. We're going to be meeting and doing basically like a Reseller Restart, 13-week Reseller Restart. So every Monday morning, we're going to do a foundation of some sort and talk about it. And I'm going to do like a little thing, and then we're going to people share what they do. So the part that I talk about, I am going to release to YouTube in a series. But really what I find to be way more valuable than listening to me drone on and on is the fact that then the members talk about it. They'll show like on the day we do inventory systems, people share their inventory systems. I feel like if you watch this whole series and you follow along and do the homework, and if you're in the group, you get a little like handout sheet to help you accomplish each one of these steps as we go along. And it'll be like kind of like a checklist, but it'll be like, I want you to set business rules while we're doing this for yourself. Everybody's is going to be different. There's no right, there's no wrong, but it's just kind of going to be a good foundation. And if you've been doing this for a while, then maybe you just are relooking or tightening up your foundation. We can all use that sometimes. And I'm going to do it with the group too for my business. So it might be a great time to join our Patreon, because then you can join in the group part and get the handouts. I think it'll be a lot of fun, but if you're not, that's fine too, no problem. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Reseller Revenue, so that you can follow along on the 13 weeks. I'll still be doing my jewelry, what sold. I meant to take like all this great footage and bring you guys along. So I did a little bit, but turns out I'm terrible at it. So I'm just no good at like videoing and working, because to me, I'm very focused when I'm sorting jewelry. I am very in the moment with negotiating, and I'm just not having the habits yet of making sure that I pick up a camera or make sure I pick up my GoPro. My GoPro setup that I had did work well. Like I figured out how to operate and everything. Yay, go me. But it didn't come natural to me, and I don't feel silly at it. Like I said, if I needed to, I'd wear something on my head. Like I don't care. But I just would forget I just forgot to turn it on, and I had it on a backpack strap and it kept like moving. So I felt like I had to babysit it all the time when it was on, and I just wasn't very good at it. So anyway, I wasn't good at it. I'm sorry. I will try to get better. I don't know what to say. I think I just feel like who wants to see all this stuff? I guess one other notable thing is we did stop at the old gosh, what's that called? Midlands Antique Mall. Very cool place. We didn't buy anything, but it's an old shoe factory, and that's in Indianapolis. Only bad part about that is I've never like drove into Indianapolis like that before, and it was something I really just don't want to experience again. I am used to gravel roads and 2-lane highways, so this driving is a little intense for me. Rowdy drove a lot of it. He's a great driver, so that was awesome. So I guess I just really want to tell everybody thank you for hanging in there with me. I know this is probably a long, boring call, but stay tuned for more what sold on jewelry. I think I might do a couple in-depth, like, hey, let's learn about, like I'd like to learn more about those Zoney Tunes, because I never heard of it before. And so I don't like going in blind on any kind of jewelry deal. And I kind of felt like I went in blind on that a little bit. So if I had known about it, then I would have been able to negotiate better and know what I was talking about. So I may do a little bit more in depth on some off the wall stuff. And I will continue to do my what solds and be transparent. Like, so next week I'll check back in and we'll look to see if my sales rebounded or not after the 30% and after a week back from vacation. So I will, keep doing that. I try to be totally transparent. I'm going to try not to be sourcing as much because I do have, good 3 months worth of inventory now, but I will still continue to go to community garage sales that happen and possibly a few flea markets. And then I am continuing my connections. So while I was gone, this wonderful lady that has a thrift, she calls me if she gets really good stuff in, and she got some great jewelry in, so she offered it to me. Things like that. I'm not going to say no because I need that relationship. Plus, it was good stuff. So I will continue to source, but I'm not like actively tracking it down every day. So anyway, I appreciate all of you guys for hanging in there with me. I'm going to be releasing a couple of really old videos that I'm going to tune up a little bit too. So give them likes, comments. I'd love to hear how you guys source. I'd love to hear your favorite, I know we're not telling any secrets here, but tell me, like, my favorite thing is the garage sales, or I look forward to flea markets. Love to hear it. So please comment. I appreciate you. Have a great week.